GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. A head-to-head clash in yesterday's CF Montreal match has reignited the concussion conversation, while traffic snarls persist on the highways and the city's pride organizers are tightening security after recent events. Over to you, Ryan.
Montreal secured a narrow victory over Hamilton, with Jose Maltos Diaz scoring the winning goal in the final 3 minutes.
The match took place at Percival Molson Stadium, drawing a lively home crowd cheering the late-game heroics.
Hamilton pressed hard early, but could not equalize after Montreal's decisive play in the closing minutes.
All right, let's get into it, starting with today's headlines and the top stories you need to know. Good morning, Montreal. During today's CF Montreal match at Stade Saputo, a violent head-to-head clash left one player motionless on the field and prompted the referee to halt play for several minutes. Medical staff examined the injured player for signs of concussion before he was escorted off on a stretcher. The incident has reignited the ongoing debate over head injuries in soccer, a discussion that has grown louder after a series of high-profile cases in recent seasons. Players' unions and health officials are now urging the league to review safety protocols and consider stricter concussion guidelines. CF Montreal has not released a formal statement, but the club's medical team confirmed that the athlete will undergo further evaluation. The episode adds fresh urgency to calls for more comprehensive protection measures across the sport. Advocates say the issue must be addressed throughout the professional game.
Fierté Montreal announced yesterday that it will tighten security for the upcoming Pride Festival after a violent incident in Berlin prompted organizers worldwide to reassess safety protocols. The group said it is deploying additional police presence, installing extra surveillance cameras at key venues, and expanding entry screening for all scheduled events across the city. Organizers also noted a partnership with local emergency services to improve rapid response capabilities and will provide a dedicated hotline for attendees to report concerns. The decision follows the Berlin attack that left several victims and raised alarm among LGBTQ+ communities. Fierté Montreal emphasized that the enhanced measures aim to protect participants while preserving the festival's celebratory spirit. Officials from the city's police service confirmed they are coordinating closely with the organizers to ensure a secure environment throughout the week-long program.
Yesterday at Percival Molson Stadium, the Montreal Alouettes turned a tight contest into a decisive victory over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. After trailing for much of the game, the Alouettes exploded in the fourth quarter, adding 14 points to pull ahead and secure the win. The comeback capped a hard-fought afternoon of Canadian football, with the home crowd roaring as the final whistle sounded. The Tiger Cats fought back early, but the Alouettes' late surge proved unstoppable, sealing the triumph in front of their loyal supporters. The matchup was part of the CFL's summer schedule, drawing a lively crowd eager to see the hometown team perform. The win adds another home success for the Alouettes as they look ahead to the next round of league play. The energy in the stadium remained high as the team filed off the field.
Yesterday, Parc La Fontaine in the Plateau Mont-Royal turned into a vibrant celebration as the 20th Haiti and Foley Festival showcased Haitian culture. Attendees sampled traditional dishes in hands-on cooking workshops, learned rhythmic patterns from local percussionists, and tried their first Creole phrases in language sessions. Artists painted vivid murals while storytellers shared folklore, creating a lively tapestry of sights and sounds. Organizers said the event, now 2 decades old, continues to honor the island's rich heritage and foster connections across the neighborhood. Families and visitors alike wandered the green space, sampling spices, tapping drums, and snapping photos of colorful artworks. The day's program highlighted food, music, visual art, and oral tradition, underscoring the enduring bond between Montreal's diverse communities and Haiti's vibrant cultural legacy. The 20th edition drew hundreds of participants, reinforcing its place as a beloved summer highlight.
Mont-Tremblant officials and local residents gathered this morning to call for an immediate halt to all new housing construction in the resort town. Citing a rapid wave of development that they say is reshaping the landscape into something resembling an open pit mine, They urged municipal leaders to impose a moratorium while a comprehensive impact study is conducted. The petition, signed by dozens of homeowners and backed by the mayor's office, argues that unchecked building threatens the natural appeal that draws visitors to the Laurentian region each winter and summer. City Council is scheduled to review the request later this week, and provincial authorities have been asked to weigh in on possible regulatory measures. The community's appeal underscores growing concern that the town's character could be permanently altered if development continues unchecked. Next, we'll explore Quebec's revived disability support program and its impact on families province-wide today. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're feeling refreshed. Now let's move to the local stories you need to hear before you head out.
At 8 a.m. GMT today, the Quebec government announced the relaunch of its Provincial Disability Support Program, a move aimed at addressing criticism of the previous framework. Officials noted that more than one-fifth of the province's residents live with a disability, underscoring the program's importance for daily life, from accessible transportation to workplace accommodations. The revived initiative will streamline financial assistance, health services, and community resources, seeking to simplify applications and reduce waiting times. Provincial leaders said the overhaul responds directly to feedback from disability advocates who highlighted gaps in coverage and bureaucratic hurdles. By strengthening support structures, the government hopes to improve independence and quality of life for the 21% of Quebecers who navigate disability challenges. The rollout will begin in major health regions next month, offering home care aids, adaptive equipment subsidies, and priority scheduling for therapy appointments.
Hydro-Quebec and local robotics firm Tessellate Robotics introduced a new inspection robot this morning, aiming to keep the province's power network under constant watch. The machine, built to navigate lines and substations, can move around the grid both day and night without pause. Engineers say the robot's sensors will spot wear, corrosion, or other issues before they become outages, allowing faster repairs. By pairing advanced robotics with the utilities' monitoring systems, the partnership hopes to improve reliability for households and businesses alike. The rollout begins in Montreal, where the robot will start patrolling key transmission corridors over the coming weeks. Equipped with artificial intelligence vision, it can assess cables and towers, transmitting data to control centers for analysis. The initiative forms part of Hydro-Quebec's broader plan to modernize the grid as electric vehicle charging expands.
Paramedics across the province reached a tentative collective bargaining agreement yesterday, ending a stretch of years without a formal contract. The deal, negotiated between the Quebec government, Urgences Santé, and roughly 1,000 emergency responders, promises clearer wages, scheduling, and safety provisions. For residents of Montreal and Laval, the agreement means ambulances will continue to operate under a unified framework, reducing the risk of service interruptions that have loomed during past negotiations. Officials said the pact is provisional, pending final ratification by the union membership. The government highlighted the importance of maintaining rapid response times while addressing long-standing staffing concerns. As the new terms move toward approval, paramedics expect to return to a more stable work environment, which should help keep emergency care reliable for the community. Commuters and families can feel more confident that help will arrive promptly when accidents occur on busy streets.
Montreal SPCA is pressing city officials and landlords to scrap rental clauses that ban pets, saying those rules are fueling a surge in animal abandonments. The organization's latest data shows a noticeable jump in intake numbers after Canada Day, when a wave of renters relocate and often leave their companions behind. By removing prohibitions, the SPCA argues, owners would have a clear option to keep pets rather than surrender them to shelters. The group highlighted that every year the holiday moves trigger a spike in stray and surrendered animals, straining resources at its facilities. Officials have been asked to consider policy changes that would protect both tenants and animals, and to work with property owners on more pet-friendly agreements. The SPCA says swift action could curb the growing number of abandoned pets entering its care.
Police say a high-speed pursuit through the city on Tuesday ended with 3 arrests while 1 suspect remains at large. Officers from the Montreal Police Department launched the chase as part of an ongoing operation targeting violent crime. The vehicle fled from officers near the downtown core, weaving through side streets before finally being forced to stop after a brief but intense pursuit. At the scene, detectives took 3 individuals into custody on charges that include assault and possession of an illegal weapon. The remaining driver escaped on foot and has not yet been located. Authorities are reviewing dash cam footage and have urged anyone with relevant information to come forward. The incident underscores the department's continued effort to curb street violence and maintain public safety. Residents in the affected neighborhood reported hearing sirens and seeing flashing lights throughout the afternoon.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what today holds for our city.
Steady high pressure and a northwest jet stream keep Montreal dry, while warm air pushes temperatures toward record territory. On this date, Montreal once touched 31.9 degrees Celsius back in 2019, a blistering peak that rode a lingering heat wave across the province. The cold counterpart fell to 14.1 degrees in 2013, when an Arctic surge slipped southward and blanketed the city in frost. By contrast, our climate normals hover around 26 degrees for the high and 19 for the low, making today's forecast feel comfortably warm, but still well below that historic peak. The live radar shows a clear, featureless swath across southern Quebec, with no echoes marching toward the island. A high-pressure ridge sits over the Great Lakes, suppressing lift and keeping moisture locked out. With the jet stream slicing gently from the northwest at 27 kilometers per hour, any lingering clouds are being sheared away. Expect the calm to persist through the morning, then I'll turn to today's outlook. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits at 19 degrees under a mostly clear sky, the humidity hovering near 88%. The high-pressure field is steady, with no significant change on the horizon, while the jet stream overhead streams from the northwest at 27 kilometers per hour, funneling warm air from the interior. That ridge will thicken through the day, nudging temperatures upward to a high of 31 degrees by mid-afternoon. Clouds will creep in late, turning the sky overcast by early evening, but no rain is expected. The UV index reads 6, and winds will peak at 13 kilometers per hour from the southwest, feeling light. No weather alerts are active, so the day remains straightforward as we move into the 5-day stretch. Looking ahead, Monday will hold a high of 29 degrees and a low of 19, with a blanket of clouds that keep the sun hidden. Tuesday nudges the temperature to 30 degrees, but a 40% chance of rain will arrive midday as a weak trough dips south, bringing a brief shower. Wednesday cools to 25 degrees, and the rain probability climbs to 65%, so expect steady light precipitation through the afternoon. Thursday stays near 23 degrees, overcast with another 40% rain window in the evening. Finally, Friday breaks the cloud cover, delivering a clear sky and a mild high of 26 degrees, offering a dry finish to the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates. Look at Just for Laughs shows and story behind Steve's music store closing after 61 years. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Autoroute Quarante remains the biggest headache this morning. A major hindrance at the Descaries interchange is snarling westbound traffic, with queues stretching back toward St. Laurent. Drivers heading west should consider diverting onto Rue Saint-Denis or the Ville-Marie tunnel to avoid the bottleneck. A second westbound blockage near Métropolitain, close to Boulevard Lacordaire, is also backing up traffic, adding another 5 to 10 minutes of delay. Further east, a eastbound slowdown between Boulevard Berget and Avenue Marion is creating a stop-and-go stretch, so keep a safe distance. On the south side, the eastbound lane on Pont Victoria remains closed for traffic management, forcing all vehicles onto the single open lane. Expect a minute of extra travel per kilometer. Lastly, exit 44 on Autoroute Trent westbound at St. Constant is shut, so motorists should use exit 43 or continue to the next interchange. No transit disruptions are reported this morning, but expect the same flow this afternoon unless conditions change.
Just for laughs, Montreal lights up the city today with top comedians across venues. Grab a seat for a quick laugh before work. Across town, Festival International Nuits d'Afrique brings African rhythms to streets and stages, a chance to discover fresh beats. At Parc La Fontaine, Festival Haiti and Foley fills the park with music, food, and dance, sharing Haitian spirit locally. Looking ahead, Ashiga opens at the end of the month on Parc Jean Drapeau, a 3-day immersion in world-class music and art. From July 31 through August 9, Fierté Montreal spreads pride citywide with parades and parties. And from July 31 to August 1, Noise Not Borders Fest turns La Sala Rossa and Casa del Popolo into a showcase for punk, electronic and hardcore voices from LGBTQ+, BIPOC and migrant artists. That's today's lineup and what's coming up. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Montreal sports making noise on multiple fronts this summer. The Owls delivered when it counted most. Jose Maltos Diaz booted 2 field goals and a single inside the final 3 minutes Sunday night, lifting the Montreal Alouettes past the Hamilton Tiger-Cats 31-18. 21,014 fans at Percival Molson Stadium saw the late-game heroics up close, according to Sportsnet. Tough result for the Montreal Roses in Northern Super League play. AFC Toronto visited and left with a 2-0 victory, courtesy of second-half goals from Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter. Goalkeeper Sabrina D'Angelo stopped 2 shots for the visitors. The win moved AFC Toronto past Montreal into sole third place per CBC Sports. Mark your calendars, Habs fans. The Montreal Canadiens will open the 2026-27 NHL season on the road, visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs on September 29. Opening night also features Edmonton hosting Vancouver in an all-Canadian 2-game slate to kick things off, according to CBC Sports.
Steve's Music Store on St. Catherine Street in downtown Montreal has closed its doors after 61 years of serving the city's musicians. For generations, the shop offered everything from vintage guitars to drum kits, and its walls echoed with the chatter of budding artists and seasoned performers alike. The closure reflects the mounting financial pressures on independent retailers and the pull of online shopping. Neighbors mourn the loss of a place where a teenager could try a saxophone for the first time and a seasoned jazz trio could find rare sheet music. Steve's was more than a store. It was a gathering spot that helped shape Montreal's vibrant music scene, and its absence will be felt in every rehearsal room across the borough. Stay tuned for a heartwarming look at the 20th Haiti and Foley Festival, celebrating vibrant Haitian culture right here in Montreal.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMNA for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the heart of the plateau, volunteers at the community center are arranging colorful ballots for the upcoming by-elections that will fill 3 seats in the House of Commons, 1 each in British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec. At a table near the window, Marie, a retired teacher, carefully folds each paper, humming a folk tune that drifts through the open doors. Across the room, a group of high school students from École Saint-Sulpice are rehearsing a short skit about the importance of every vote, their enthusiasm lighting up the room as much as the sunrise spilling over St. Laurent Boulevard. The story isn't just about politics. It's about neighbors gathering to remind each other that democracy lives in the small gestures. When the first ballot box is sealed, the volunteers share a toast with steaming cups of café au lait, feeling the weight of civic duty lift into something hopeful. It's a reminder that even in the middle of a busy city, we can pause, participate, and pass the torch to the next generation. And that's the promise we carry with us as we head out today.
On a crisp Saturday morning in the heart of the plateau, a small crowd gathered outside historic St. Joseph's Church, their breaths visible in early light. Parents, classmates, and neighbors held homemade signs that read "Felix, you're our champion," while the scent of fresh croissants drifted from a nearby bakery. Inside Community Center, the local gymnastics club rolled out a red carpet, and the television in the corner replayed final moments of the Commonwealth Games, where Felix Dalsite executed a flawless vault, his routine landing with quiet confidence of someone who had trained on these very wooden beams for years. When the scoreboard flashed silver, applause swelled into a cheer that seemed to lift the whole block. Coach Marie-Claude, who has watched Felix grow from a shy 7-year-old into a national icon, whispered, "You made us proud." The medal, polished to a gleam, was placed beside a photo of his younger self, a reminder that every twist and tumble began with a simple dream. It's moments like these that stitch the fabric of our city tighter, showing how a single athlete's dedication can inspire a whole neighborhood.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Tonight's Alouettes rally, a 14-point fourth-quarter surge to beat the Tiger Cats, reminded us of the city's unstoppable spirit. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Until then, stay safe and keep shining.